Why do you stay quiet when disrespect strikes? When someone's words cut like a blade? When their scorn tries to unravel your peace? Why choose silence over the roar of retaliation? Because silence isn't surrender, it's strength. It's the power of a soul anchored in truth, a heart that refuses to be defined by another's cruelty. Silence is your shield, your victory, your testimony that you are bigger than the moment. Who's ever held their tongue and felt that strength rise? Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. That's the power we're claiming today, the power that changes everything. In that heated moment when the sting of insult burns, when every instinct screams to fight back, silence is your greatest weapon. The world says shout, defend, prove yourself. But there's a higher way. A way that says, I will not let your words pull me from my purpose. Silence isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's the choice to trust that justice isn't yours to wield, that your worth isn't on trial. When you stay quiet, you're not giving in. You're standing firm, rooted in a truth that no disrespect can shake. It's a strength that says, I am not moved by your scorn because I know who I am. Think of the fire that disrespect kindled. It's hungry, eager to spread, feeding on your reaction. Every sharp word you throw back, every angry defense only makes it grow. But silence starves it. Silence says you don't control me. Silence puts out the flames before they consume you. Who's ever walked away from a fight and felt peace instead of regret? Who's felt that calm settle in when you didn't take the bait? That's the power of silence. It doesn't just protect you, it sets you free. But oh, how hard it is to choose that path. The heart pounds, the tongue itches to strike. The pain of being wrong cries out for justice. It's human to want to fight, to want to prove you're not what they say. Yet there's a soft but steady that says, hold fast, trust, be still. That is truth, calling you to a strength the world can't understand. It's the strength of a man who stood before his accusers, mocked, insulted, betrayed. They challenged his honor, questioned his purpose, yet he opened not his mouth. His silence wasn't defeat, it was the dawn of redemption. And your silence too is the start of something greater. Let's talk about what silence does. It's not just about what you don't say, it's about what you show. When you stay quiet, you show the world a strength that doesn't need to shout, a dignity that doesn't need to defend itself. You show the one who disrespected you that they don't have the power to unravel you. You show the ones watching that there's a better way, a way of peace, a way of grace. Your silence is a sermon, a living testimony that speaks louder than any argument. Who's seen someone stay calm in the storm of disrespect? Who's been moved by that kind of strength? Raise your hand if you've witnessed it. That's the power you carry when you choose silence. Consider the woman who faced scorn in her community. They mocked her faith, laughed at her values, called her foolish for standing firm. She could have argued, could have matched their venom with her own, but she didn't. She prayed, she worked, she spoke with kindness when she spoke at all. And over time the laughter faded. The ones who mocked her started to respect her. They saw her peace, her consistency, her strength. Her silence wasn't just her shield, it was her witness. It changed hearts, softened enemies, built bridges where walls once stood. That's what your silence can do. It doesn't just save you, it saves others. But silence isn't passive. It's not hiding or running away. It's an active choice, a deliberate act of faith. It's saying, I will not let this moment define me. I will not let this pain control me. It's trusting that the one who sees your heart will make things right, that the one who knows your pain will turn it to purpose. Silence takes courage. The kind of courage that stands tall when others expect you to fall. It's the courage of a worker who endures a boss's unfair criticism, not because he fears confrontation, but because he trusts his work will speak louder than words. It's the courage of a parent who absorbs a child's angry outburst, not because they're weak, but because they know love is stronger than anger. And that courage isn't just for the big moments, it's for the everyday. It's for the casual slight at the market, the cutting remark from a friend, the dismissive tone from a stranger. Every time you choose silence, you're building a habit, a character, a life that reflects something eternal. You're showing the world that you're not ruled by the fleeting words of others, but by a truth that endures. Who's ready to make that choice every day? Who's ready to let silence shape their life? Raise your hand if you're in. But let's be honest, silence doesn't always feel like victory. There are moments when it feels like defeat, when the pain of disrespect lingers, when you wonder if staying quiet was worth it. Those moments are real, and they test your resolve. They ask, do you trust? Do you believe? In those moments, you need to lean on a strength greater than your own. You need to turn to the one who walked this path, who faced scorn and stayed silent, who trusted that his silence would lead to something greater. That trust is your anchor, your shield, your reason to keep going. Let me tell you about a young man who faced disrespect in his family. His siblings mocked his dreams, belittled his efforts, told him he'd never amount to anything. The words hurt, the rejection stung, but he chose silence. He didn't argue, didn't lash out. He worked, he prayed, he held fast to his faith. Years later, those same siblings came to him, not with mockery, but with need. They saw his success, his character, his peace. His silence hadn't just protected him, it had paved the way for reconciliation. That's the power of silence. It doesn't just hold you together, it holds the future open. And that future is what we're fighting for. Every time you choose silence, you're fighting for peace, for healing, for a world where love triumphs over hate. You're showing the ones who disrespect you that they don't have the final word. You're showing the ones watching that strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's still. You're showing yourself that you can rise above, that you can trust, that you can live with a courage that changes everything. That's the power of silence. It's not just about the moment, it's about the life you build, the legacy you leave, the hope you carry. What happens when you choose silence over the roar of disrespect? When you hold your tongue, steady your heart, and refuse to let another's scorn pull you into the fray? What grows from that choice? Victory, yes, but more than that, transformation. The silence you embrace in the face of insult isn't just a shield, it's a seed. Planted in the soil of your soul, ready to bear fruit that changes you, heals others, and shifts the world around you. That seed is restraint, and its fruit is a life of peace, a heart of strength, a legacy of love that no disrespect can uproot. Who's ready to see what grows when you stay quiet? Raise your hand if you want to know the power of what comes next. That moment of silence, when you choose not to fire back, is more than it's a turning point. It's the moment you say, I will not be ruled by this pain. I will not let this wound define me. And from that choice, something beautiful begins to grow. Restraint isn't just about what you don't do. It's about what you become. It's about the character forged in the fire of self-control. The wisdom gained in the stillness of trust. The grace that flows when you refuse to let bitterness take root. The world may see your silence as weakness, but heaven sees it as strength. A strength that builds you into someone greater than the moment. Someone who shines brighter than the darkness of disrespect. Think about it. Every time you choose restraint, you're training your soul. You're teaching your heart to stand firm, to rise above, to trust in a justice bigger than your own. It's like a muscle. Each act of silence makes you stronger. Each refusal to retaliate builds your endurance. Who's ever felt that shift inside? That moment when you walked away from a fight and felt not defeated but empowered. That's the fruit of restraint. It's the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you didn't let someone else's words pull you from your purpose. It's the peace that settles in your spirit when you trust that your worth isn't on trial, that your value is sealed by a higher power. But this fruit doesn't just change you. It touches others. Your silence, your restraint, is a light that pierces the chaos around you. When you refuse to answer disrespect with more disrespect, you break the cycle. You show the world there's another way. You become a living testimony that peace is stronger than anger, that love is mightier than hate. Think of the times you've seen someone stay calm in the face of provocation. Maybe it was a teacher who didn't snap at a disrespectful student, but kept teaching with patience. Maybe it was a parent who absorbed a child's harsh words and responded with kindness. Who's seen that kind of strength? Who's been moved by someone whose silence spoke louder than any shout? That's the power of restraint. It doesn't just hold you together. It inspires others to rise. Let me tell you about a man who worked in a marketplace, surrounded by vendors who mocked his honesty. They called him foolish for not cutting corners, for not bending the truth to make a quick profit. Day after day, their words stung, their laughter burned. He could have fought back. He could have matched their taunts with his own, but he didn't. He kept his head down, worked with integrity, and stayed quiet. Over time, something happened. The same vendors who ridiculed him started to trust him. Customers sought him out, not just for his goods, but for his character. His silence didn't just protect his peace. It changed the atmosphere. It drew others to a better way. That's what your restraint can do. It's not just about you, it's about the lives you touch, the hearts you soften, the conflicts you heal. And oh, how we need that healing today. The world is full of noise, full of people tearing each other down, full of hearts hardened by hurt. Disrespect breeds more disrespect. Anger fuels more anger, until the cycle feels unstoppable. But you can stop it. Your silence, your restraint is a ripple in the water, a spark in the dark. When you choose not to escalate, you're not just saving yourself, you're saving others. You're showing the one who disrespected you that there's a better way. You're showing the ones watching that strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, and that whisper can change everything. But let's talk about the heart of this fruit, forgiveness. Because restraint isn't just about staying quiet, it's about what you do with the pain. Disrespect leaves a wound, doesn't it? It's not just the words or the actions. It's the way they make you feel. Small, unseen, unworthy. And if you're not careful, that wound can fester. It can turn to bitterness, to resentment, to a heart that's closed off to love. Who's felt that sting? Who's carried that weight? Raise your hand if you've ever struggled to let go of the hurt. That's where restraint becomes a bridge to something greater. When you choose silence, you're not just holding back words. You're holding back the poison that could destroy you. You're making room for forgiveness, for healing, for a heart that stays open despite the pain. Forgiveness doesn't mean you excuse the disrespect. It doesn't mean you pretend it didn't hurt. It means you refuse to let that hurt own you. It means you trust that the one who sees your pain will make it right, that the one who knows your heart will heal it. And when you forgive, you're not just setting yourself free, you're setting others free. You're showing the one who hurt you that they don't have the power to define you. You're showing the world that love is stronger than hate, that grace is mightier than vengeance. That's the fruit of restraint, a heart that forgives, a life that loves, a legacy that lasts. Now, I know it's not easy. I know there are moments when the pain of disrespect feels too heavy, when the urge to strike back feels too strong. There are times when you wonder if silence is worth it, if restraint will ever bear fruit. But let me tell you this, every seed takes time to grow. Every choice to stay quiet is a step towards something greater. You may not see the fruit today. You may not feel the victory tomorrow, but it's coming. The peace that fills your heart, the strength that shapes your character, the lives you touch with your grace. It's all growing, moment by moment, choice by choice. Think of a woman who faced betrayal from someone she trusted. Her friends spoke lies about her, turned others against her, broke her heart. The pain was raw, the temptation to fight back overwhelming. But she chose restraint. She stayed quiet, not because she didn't care, but because she cared too much to let anger win. She prayed, she forgave, she kept loving, even when it hurt. And over time the truth came to light. The ones who believed the lies saw her character. The friend who betrayed her came back, not with excuses, but with tears, asking for forgiveness. Her silence didn't just save her from a fight, it saved a relationship. It restored what was broken. That's the fruit of restraint. It doesn't just protect you, it redeems. And that redemption isn't just for you, it's for the world. Every time you choose silence, every time you choose forgiveness, you're showing the world what's possible. You're proving that disrespect doesn't have to win, that pain doesn't have to have the last word. You're building a bridge to healing, a path to restoration, a testimony to the truth that love is the greatest force of all. Who wants to be that bridge? Who wants to show the world that there's a better way? Raise your hand if you're ready to let your restraint change lives. But this fruit doesn't grow on its own. It takes work. It takes faith. It takes a heart that's willing to trust when the path is hard, to love when the world says hate, to forgive when the wound is still fresh. That's why restraint is a discipline, a daily choice to lean on a strength greater than your own. It's a choice to pray when you want to curse, to bless when you want to condemn, to stay quiet when you want to scream. And every time you make that choice, you're not just growing stronger, you're growing closer to the one who made you, the one who walked the path of silence before you, the one who knows the fruit that waits on the other side. So what does this look like in your life? Maybe it's the moment you bite your tongue when a family member snaps at you, choosing peace over pride. Maybe it's the time you let a coworker's criticism slide, knowing your work will speak for itself. Maybe it's the day you forgive someone who never said sorry, because you know your heart is worth more than their apology. Who's ready to live like that? Who's ready to let restraint bear fruit in your life? The fruit is there waiting to grow, peace that holds you steady, strength that lifts you higher, love that changes everything. And as you walk this path, you'll see that restraint isn't just about the moments of disrespect. It's about the life you build. It's about the person you become, the relationships you save, the legacy you leave. Every choice to stay quiet, every act of forgiveness, every step of grace is a seed that grows into something eternal. You're not just surviving disrespect, you're overcoming it. You're not just enduring pain, you're transforming it. You're not just staying quiet, you're shouting a message of hope, a message of healing, a message of love that echoes far beyond the moment. But this is only the beginning. The fruit of restraint is rich, but it's not the end of the story. There's a path ahead, a path of courage, a path of discipline, a path that calls you to live this truth every day. It's a path that asks you to stand firm, to trust deeply, to walk boldly in the strength of silence. And as you take that path, you'll find that the fruit of restraint isn't just a gift. It's a calling, a challenge, a chance to show the world what it means to live with quiet courage. But this power isn't the end of the story. Silence is the start, the foundation, the choice that sets you on a path. What grows from that choice? What happens when you let silence bear fruit in your heart, in your relationships, in your world? That's where the real transformation begins, where the seed of restraint blossoms into something beautiful, something lasting, something that changes not just you, but everyone around you. How do you keep standing when disrespect keeps swinging? When the fruit of restraint has started to grow in your heart, when you've tasted the peace of silence, how do you make that choice a way of life? It's one thing to stay quiet in a moment of insult, but it's another to walk a path of quiet courage every day, to live with a strength that doesn't shout, a faith that doesn't flinch, a love that doesn't fade. That path is calling you. It's a path of discipline, of trust, of boldness that shines brightest in stillness. Who's ready to walk it? Raise your hand if you want to live a life that proves silence is stronger than scorn. The fruit of restraint has shown you what's possible. A heart that forgives, a life that heals, a legacy that lifts others. But fruit doesn't grow without care, and a life of quiet courage doesn't happen by accident. It's a choice you make day after day, to stand firm when the world pushes you to break, to stay silent when the world begs you to shout, to trust in a truth bigger than the moment. That choice starts with discipline, with training your heart to respond not with instinct, but with wisdom. It's about building habits that anchor you, practices that strengthen you, beliefs that hold you steady when disrespect comes knocking. What's the first step on this path? It's prayer. Not just a quick word before bed, but a constant conversation with the one who made you, the one who walked this path before you. Prayer is your lifeline, your source of strength, your reminder that you're not alone in the face of insult. When someone's words cut you, when their actions try to tear you down, prayer is what keeps you grounded. It's where you take your pain, your anger, your temptation to fight back and lay it down. Who's ever prayed through a moment of hurt? Who's felt that peace that comes when you give it over? Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. That's the power of prayer. It doesn't just calm the storm. It strengthens you to stand in it. But prayer is just the start. You need to train your mind to fill it with truth that drowns out the lies of disrespect. The world will tell you that silence is weakness, that staying quiet means you've lost. But the truth says something different. The truth says, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." The truth says, "A fool gives full vent to his anger, but a wise man holds it back." Fill your mind with that truth. Read it, speak it, memorize it. Let it be the shield that protects you when the arrows of scorn fly. When you know who you are, loved, chosen, valued by the one who sees all, no one's disrespect can shake you. And then there's the practice of patience. Patience isn't just waiting. It's choosing to wait well. It's refusing to let the heat of the moment control you. It's saying, "I'll respond, but not now. I'll speak, but not in anger." Patience is what keeps your silence from becoming passive, your restraint from becoming retreat. Think of the man who faced a neighbor's constant insults. Every day the neighbor mocked his work, his family, his faith. The man could have snapped. He could have let the anger spill over. But he waited. He prayed. He chose kind words when he spoke at all. And one day the neighbor's tone changed. "Why don't you fight back?" he asked. The man smiled and said, "Because I'm fighting for something bigger than this." That's patience. That's quiet courage. Who wants that kind of strength? Who's ready to wait well? But let's be real, this path isn't easy. There are days when your patience runs thin, when your prayers feel unanswered, when the weight of disrespect feels like it'll crush you. Who's been there? Who's felt that struggle? Raise your hand if you've ever wondered if this path is worth it. Those moments are real, but they're not the end. They're the forge where your courage is shaped, the fire where your faith is refined. In those moments, you need to lean on a strength greater than your own. You need to trust that the one who sees your struggle is working in it, that the one who knows your pain is using it to make you stronger. That trust is the heart of quiet courage. It's believing that your silence isn't in vain, that your restraint is building something eternal. It's knowing that every choice to stay quiet, every act of patience, every prayer in the dark is seen, is valued, is rewarded. The world may not see it. The one who disrespected you may not care. But there's one who sees every step you take on this path, who knows every wound you carry, who promises that your faithfulness will not go unanswered. That promise is your anchor, your hope, your reason to keep walking. So how do you keep walking? You surround yourself with people who lift you up, who remind you of the truth, who walk this path with you. You need friends who'll pray with you, who'll encourage you, who'll call you higher when you're tempted to sink low. Think of the woman who faced disrespect at her workplace. Her co-workers mocked her values, questioned her choices, made her feel small, but she had a friend, someone who stood by her, who prayed with her, who reminded her of who she was. That friend was her lifeline, her reminder that she wasn't alone. Who's got someone like that? Who's got a friend who helps you stay strong? If you don't, find one. And if you do, be one. Be that encourages, the hand that lifts, the heart that stands firm. And don't just seek strength. Give it. Your quiet courage isn't just for you, it's for the world. Every time you choose silence, every time you walk this path, you're showing others what's possible. You're proving that disrespect doesn't have to win, that anger doesn't have to rule, that love can triumph over pain. You're a light, a testimony, a living example of what it means to live with grace. Think of the boy who watched his father stay calm in the face of a stranger's insult. The father didn't shout, didn't curse, didn't fight. He stayed quiet, and later he told his son, "Some battles are won by walking away." That boy never forgot it. He grew up to be a man who chose peace over pride, who walked the path of quiet courage because his father showed him how. That's the power of your example. That's the impact of your life. But this path isn't just about the present, it's about the eternal. Every step you take, every choice to stay quiet, every act of courage is preparing you for something greater. The disrespect you face today is training you for the challenges of tomorrow. The silence you choose now is shaping you for the victories to come. There's a day when every wrong will be made right, when every wound will be healed, when every quiet act of faith will be shouted from the heavens. Until that day, your job is to keep walking, to keep trusting, to keep living with the courage that comes from knowing your story isn't over. So what does this look like in your life? It's the moment you choose to pray instead of argue when a family member snaps at you. It's the time you hold your tongue when a coworker criticizes you unfairly, trusting your work will speak for itself. It's the day you forgive someone who never apologized because you know your heart is worth more than their words. It's the choice to surround yourself with people who lift you up, to fill your mind with truth, to lean on a strength greater than your own. Who's ready to live like that? Who's ready to walk this path every day? Raise your hand if you're ready to make quiet courage your way of life. And as you walk, you'll find that this path isn't just about surviving disrespect, it's about thriving through it. It's about becoming someone who doesn't just endure pain, but transforms it. Someone who doesn't just face scorn, but overcomes it. Someone who doesn't just stay quiet, but speaks a message of hope, of healing, of love that echoes far beyond the moment. This path is your calling, your challenge, your chance to show the world what it means to live with a courage that doesn't need to shout to be heard. But the journey doesn't end here. The path of quiet courage is a lifelong walk, a daily choice, a constant trust in the one who guides your steps. And as you keep walking, you'll see that every step is a victory. Every silence is a song. Every act of restraint is a testament to the truth that you are not defined by the disrespect of this world, but by the love of the one who made you. So keep walking, keep trusting, keep shining. The world is watching and your courage is changing it, one quiet step at a time.